No, if my fucking 11-year-old son was a huge Tate fan, that would very fucking scare me. Yeah.
Who do you want your 11-year-old son to admire?
I think like Marvel superheroes are probably okay for a kid.
All right, that's fair. So a lot of young kids would say that he's the closest thing to that in real life. Kickboxer, badass, smart, good with women, driving Bugattis, living in mansions, smoking cigars, will fuck you up and fuck your girl. Kind of a badass.
You don't need any of that. Okay, I think we're good. This is new right here. Peace, what's going on? This is Yane. I want to do a quick reaction video to Destiny and at Just Pearly Things. It was an interesting debate on Andrew Tate. And I've been wanting to give my perspective. I talked with some of the young people I work with about Andrew Tate. And it's a very thin line. It's shaky ground. You have to be careful as an educator, as a person who works with young people, about what you say about Andrew Tate, especially being a man, because there's some things I agree with that he has shared, but especially considering where he is right now and all the allegations against him, you got to be careful, right? So there was a really good debate on valuetainment between Destiny and at Just Pearly Things. So we're going to check it out, and I'm going to give my reaction and commentary to some of the things that they say. All right, here we go.
Do you think that Tate, who has taken the internet by storm over the last 6-12 months, do you think he's a net negative or a net positive for society and specifically young men? What do you think, Alex?
I would say net positive overall.
Net positive?
Yeah.
Why?
There's some things he says that are a little cringe that I disagree with, but overall about like making men more masculine, taking accountability, working out, getting your finances in order, those are all good messages.
Fully agree. How about you, Pearl? You've interviewed him. You sat with him. You're the last one of us to actually see him in the flesh. Net negative or net positive for society?
I would say net positive. I think most of his message is about self-improvement.
I agree.
So, yeah, I would say net positive.
But it's easy to call him a chauvinist and a misogynist, but that's a negative thing these days, is telling men to improve. How about you? Back to you. Do you think he's a net?
What do you think?
Net negative or net positive?
I say net. Do we need another guide here saying go to the gym, get your finances in order, like be a man? I don't know how much like uniqueness he's offering there that's valid.
You have to admit that he's very unique, bro.
Is he really? I mean, like he is in like the hyper consumerist, like look at all my fucking cars sense. But
I don't know. I think that's bullshit. I think if he
in defense of Andrew Tate, I will say he is entertaining. You know, I can totally see why young men would gravitate to him. Young boys would gravitate to him. Some of the funny things that he says, he's entertaining. That's the reason why his message was able to resonate so much. It's because he's entertaining. Andrew Tate has been able to resonate with the camera, just being this caricature that people have just gravitated to immensely, right? So he is entertaining. He is unique. And I think Destiny has to kind of agree to that.
I think if he was Ubering everywhere, the message would be just as powerful.
Probably in 6 months than most people have in their entire career.
He has reached people that were never involved in self-improvement.
You said he's unique. Give me some unique messages from Tate.
Well, no.
It doesn't have to be a unique message. It's about the impact.
Yeah.
And you can't. I interview people on the street all the time, like young kids, and they're like the biggest Tate fans. Like I have never.
The thing about Pearly Things is, I think a lot of what she says is regurgitated talking points. And on top of that, she found a lane as being a woman in the red pill manosphere. I'm not going to say she's a pick-me or anything like that. I think she's smart. I think, once again, I think she found a message, something that she probably agrees with in some ways, but doesn't have enough of an investment to really understand these talking points. So she's not going to be able to really debate them. And that's what really gets on my nerves, is that the talking points, the stats, the data, all the things that she uses have come from Rollo Tomasi, Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, have come from other people. And that really gets on my nerves, because it's like, then you found this lane. It's the same thing I say with Tyler Perry. Like, I love Tyler Perry. In a business mogul sense, I think he's done amazing things. Tyler Perry has done amazing things. But the fact that he only has one writer, who's that writer? Him. I concede. because you found a lane and you're just going with that lane. You're not trying to stretch yourself, understand maybe different perspectives, and bring those stories to life. It's the same with Just Pearly Things. I feel like she even said herself, she's an entertainment show. You know, if the conversation went to something else and people weren't really talking about the manosphere like that, she'd probably move in that direction. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gets on my nerves, because we're trying to have conversation that is fruitful and bringing us to some understanding and perspectives from different sides. You're just coming with regurgitated talking points.
I have never seen anyone with that much of a reach.
Like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. If my fucking 11-year-old son was a huge Tate fan, that would very fucking scare me.
All right, well, then
really
let me flip it on you.
Yeah.
Who do you want your 11-year-old son to admire? And you can't say a video gamer.
I can't say a video game?
Can't say it. Who do you want your 11-year-old? This goes back to the young destiny of who he was going to look up to. If it's not someone like Tate, who do you want your 11-year-old son looking up to these days?
Damn, I would say that probably it would be relevant to whatever career he wanted to go into.
He's 11 years old. Who gives a shit about career?
Well, yeah. So right now he looks up to like fucking movie characters. He likes Spider-Man and shit like that. So I think like Marvel superheroes are probably okay for kids.
All right, that's fair. So a lot of young kids would say that he's the closest thing to that in real life. Kickboxer, badass, smart, good with women, driving Bugattis, living in mansions, smoking cigars.
I'm sorry, but like, who is the superhero that's doing that? You know what I mean? That kids see, driving Bugattis, smoking cigars, you know, got women. I mean, of course, we could say maybe, you know, Tony Stark's, but they're not showing that to kids. I don't see kids looking up to that.
Well, fuck you up and fuck your girl. Kind of a badass.
Yeah, but like 5 out of 9 of those things, like I don't want my kid fantasizing about Bugattis, mansions, fucking people that fucking girls.
Yeah, Bugatti is just a means to an end. It means you've made money, and so you have a Bugatti. Listen, I have enough money to buy a nice supercar. I'd rather just keep my money in the bank because I'd like Ubering everywhere. It's just a sign of wealth. It's not like
I don't believe
like to
that.
me it's a little excessive to have. I've got 19 supercars. It's like, you only really need one.
You can't, when you make that the focal point so often, I don't think
agree.
you can retreat behind the like, oh no, well I'm just saying this will happen as a result of your wealth. This is like the goal for a lot of people.
I agree, but I think a lot of it is that's his caricature, right? It wouldn't be surprised me.
Well, it gives young men something to strive for.
Yeah,
I don't
strive
think
for Bugattis.
why is it wrong? Okay, I grew up in the most, like the comments will always say like, these are the cheapest rich people I've ever seen. Like y'all rich, but you look broke. And the comment section, my family. Like so I grew up around frugal rich people. Like I understand the concept, but it's just like, why is it bad for men to want to strive to have 20 supercars?
Because
see, and here's the thing, it's not bad for men to want to have 20 supercars. It's when they equate 20 supercars to their self-worth or their value. That's what becomes a problem. Because now, if I don't have this wealth, if I don't have these things, then who am I really? And we're placing everything on relationships and on things for our validation. And this is why social media becomes dangerous. Now we get into this comparison thing. This is why comparison is a silent virus to our mental health, because it creeps in there and has our young people, but even adults, looking at themselves as less of value, not fulfilled because of these possessions. Because in comparison, the superhero, Andrew Tate, or all these other people who are now talking about what high value is, they have those things. I don't. So who am I? Right? That's the problem. It's not about striving for those things. It's about understanding what comes before those things. And that's about you seeing yourself better than those things, more value than those things. So you don't need them.
Putting you in a mindset where you think that material things are going to improve your life, like spiritually, or improve your life in like a holistic, like psychological.
Yeah, see, that's funny because Destiny's an atheist. So I'm like, why would he care if it was spiritually? Now, why would that even be an example? Because he, you know, regardless of what your beliefs are, there is a spiritual lifestyle we should be adopting to our lives. There is 1000% a lifestyle that is not it's about a relationship that's not on this earthly plane, right? Whether you call it God, Allah, whatever it is essential to have that relationship happening, that path developing and evolving in your life. Somewhere you end up seeing it and visiting it and questioning it. And a lot of times it happens after people go through some crazy shit, right? But when it comes to finding value beyond what's in front of us, it is very much internal, spiritually and emotionally. I thought it was funny that Destiny mentioned spiritually when he's an atheist.
Logical sense. It's a path that I've watched so many people go down before. You spent the first half of this program.
It's not to say that's the only thing, but can't you acknowledge that there is some benefit in striving to make a lot of money?
No.
All right. See, here's what gets on my nerves is because now they move the goalposts. I don't think striving for that as well is a problem, right? But that is the message being put out there. Let's not, let's be real. Let's like cut the bullshit. The message that is put out there, the message that is pushed is money equates to your self-worth, your self-value. Your fulfillment will come from these things. We live in a capitalistic country, and all these gurus, the reason why people have been able to get scammed in a ridiculous way is not just because of the lack of understanding of social media and the tech and the internet and how everything works. But it really comes down to people desperate to be looking like these people they see sometimes faking online. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the message. Nobody, truth be told, as much as I'm a life coach and a health coach, it's a very personal thing. Not many people are following me on YouTube saying, ooh, yo, let me, these are people who actually, it comes from word of mouth, or people who actually know me. They know how I live my life. They know this is something I've been doing for years, that I am the real deal. But it's very personal. People who are on YouTube, or online or on social media, until they see me flashing that stuff, they probably won't. And I don't care. I mean, that's okay. I do my work outside of what I do online. This is a bonus. This is because I always loved media anyway. And I'm trying to just get back into this and want to put my message out there for free. I'm not necessarily trying to become this big, huge YouTube influencer. It would be great, because like I could do this, put out a message, put out, some entertaining things that I find entertaining, and get paid for it. But it's not necessary. The fact is, though, is that if I were to shift my brand to be this, person who just travels everywhere and got money and wealth, that will draw a whole lot more attention to say, ooh, you're a coach. What can you guide me on? If there ever was a fan base that was there solely because I made money, I would tell them, if you came here because you're looking to get paid, you can leave. This is about being able to live life better. Living life better does not only come down to having more money. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for it. And I think that's where this message gets lost, where it's like, as soon as you hear somebody say, well, the way this message is being delivered is problematic, the response to that is, well, is it wrong to strive for money? No. But when that becomes the source of your validation, and let's be real, that's how that message is being pushed. You are not high value unless you got that. You are not really living life unless we see you posting and showing you on the trips, doing the things that live life. The person who is just working at Walmart or Amazon, loving their family, probably just got clean from something or came through some crazy traumatic times and now is living a spiritual, Christian life. And, I'm just throwing things out there. The person that's doing that and happy in that space, they are of high value. And no, they might not post the photos of, Bugattis and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? But they are. And if they wanted to put that message out, how many people are really going to listen to them? Not many, because that message of material being the source of what deems you credible and high value, that is what matters. So we can't see it any other way in general. And I think we need to just like call that like it is. You know, I hear Destiny here saying that that is the focal point that's put out there. And just Pearly things trying to now move the goalpost saying, oh, well, is it wrong to just strive for it? No, come on. Nobody said that. Stop that.
Never.
Yes.
I don't think if you're
no.
selling to a young man ever, it would never be like, if you do this, you can have a supercar. That would never be part of your talking points.
I act like you're talking to someone that has
nitpicking.
Hold
Like,
on.
this is nitpicking.
It's not
over
nitpicking.
Yes.
This is like half of the fucking videos that circulate with him on the
no,
internet.
he
Is
has
like,
too much,
look at
much stuff that he talks.
Come on. The laughing, though. It's not nitpicking. That's the overall message. Fuck Andrew Tate. That's the overall message everywhere. Can we stop? This is the reason. Look at the main things of why these fake gurus came out. They showed how much money they had, and everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted to know, how did you do it? And they scammed them.
For some reason, I'm like obsessed with this straw man argument thing because you've used it a few times.
This is literally
Hear
what he
me
talks
out,
about.
bro.
I'm hearing you. Go.
You only can talk at one time.
Okay.
You're talking to somebody that doesn't have a car because he doesn't want to fucking drive, and I like being Ubered around. But I could buy a Maserati for 100 grand, no problem. But I prefer not to. Okay. So for me to defend Tate, just understand the fact that I'm not a car guy. The message is not about the Bugatti. The Bugatti is the reward after doing everything he talks about in his message. Becoming better, faster, stronger, cooler, wealthier, sexier, healthier, all that. Then you can get the Bugatti. But don't get lost in the sauce. That is the message.
I think one thing that people don't bring up a lot of, which is what made me have a little bit more respect for the Tate brothers, is multiple times I've heard them say that it's about mindset. That you can have a whole lot of money and still be a brokey. You know what I'm saying? You can have a whole lot of money. I forgot whatever else they call them, but that it was all about a mindset, you know? And they've talked about their times of being in poverty where they were poor, but they weren't broke. And they made a difference between that. And I think that is a message that I would like them, people who clip up the Tate brothers and want to show how their insights, that's some wisdom I've heard them drop a few times in looking at the full length interviews, but it hasn't been put out there as far as clips, you know? And I appreciate that mindset. I appreciate that message that poverty, broke is a mindset. Poor is a condition, right? Because when you're poor, that is the condition that you're in, but your conditions aren't bigger than you. So you have to know that you're bigger than the conditions. So you're not broke. You're not broke. You have to think wealthy, though the conditions might reflect different, right? And that's a hard time. That's hard to keep that mindset in the time that we're in because there's so much comparison. Because you're like, wait a minute, but I was told, you know, that if I don't have this, or if my life is like this, then I'm broke. And there's a difference. No, you're poor. That's a condition that you can choose to get out of, right?
And once you make the money and get the fame and get the success, if you want to go buy a fucking what color is your Bugatti, go for it. Or buy 19. But to say, oh, Tate, he's got a bad message because of the Bugatti, that's the carrot at the end, like to like motivate you. But that's not the reason that you're in the gym every day. That's not the reason that you're working your ass off. That's not the reason that you're trying to improve.
So then what's the reason? What's the reason? What is your why? Why are you in the gym? Why? If it's to get those things and to have women you are chasing, and those things you'll always be wanting more. Your why has to be rooted in you, right? When I look at the young dude who looked up to Tate, Aiden Ross, and I look at the way he's thinking and why he shaved his head and doing all this, I respect that because his why is so far beyond getting those things. He was already paid. His why now is, no, I want to be better. I want to be better. Fuck getting those things. I don't even want to see the girls. I'm going to shave my head. I want to be better, right? I want to show up better. I want to live better. This is what matters. That becomes your why. And since you have your why, there's no stopping you. Whether those things come or not, your mindset is, no, but I'm mastering me. This is the practice of self-mastery, and we need that.
It's like, that's why I was saying it's like a straw man argument that it's all about material. It's not. That's like the payoff at the end. But like the essence of what he's doing is male self-improvement. And I think you would agree with that, no?
That's the biggest cope I've ever heard in my life.
Cope?
Yeah,
Cope.
that was
that
so
mean?
much cope.
Cope of what?
Where are the videos showing that, like, if you live like a fulfilling life, this is what awaits you at the end? Maybe it's a happy marriage. Maybe it's like good friendships. Like maybe it's like a family that you love and care for. Maybe it's like participation in your community.
Yeah, but if you're talking to an 18-year-old kid, what's your family? What are you talking about? They want to fucking
fine.
get laid and get paid.
Sure,
that's it.
fine.
You sound like a girl.
If get laid
He
and get
sounds like
paid,
a girl.
That's like what girls.
See, I will say, yes, that's corny. Like, for real, Destiny. Like, yes, in the long term, but to an 18-year-old kid, a 19-year-old kid, this is about self-mastery. You want to be a warrior. You want to be a soldier. You want to be, and not just in a sense of how you engage with the outside world. I'm talking about your inner self. I'm talking about, and I want to watch another video where they're talking about that. But I'm talking about the emotional challenges that you'll have, because you will have them. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care how alpha you are, whatever the fuck that is. You absolutely live your human experience with emotional challenges. That will happen. When they occur, you should be able to see those, address those, process those. And if you need to, when you need to, articulate those to the right people, right? Not your girl, but we'll talk about that. Needless to say, you need to be a soldier, even when you deal with those things. Dad left, mom left, dad died, parents died, sibling died, best friend died. Anything that's happening, you should be able to be a soldier that can not only confront somebody outside of you, but you can confront the inner you. You can confront you. You need to be a soldier. And that is what an 18, 19-year-old needs to know. Be focused. Focus on your purpose. Focus on your business. Focus on getting your body right. But not to chase that, but because that is what's building up your legacy. Because that eventually will transform into, yeah, let me do something for my community. Let me do something, eventually. But at 18, 19 years old, you don't need to give a fuck about nothing but building self, mastering self. You attract everything that way.
Girls say.
Are you calling Destiny
No,
a girl?
these are the Christian conservative values that you guys hide behind when you want clicks, but none of you actually give a fuck about. Okay, this is what they actually talk about. If you've ever been in a church your entire life, okay. When I say you guys, I mean red pill in general. We're all doing this Christian stuff.
I'm not a red pill guy. I interview a lot of red pill.
You're talking about fulfillment, self-improvement, all these things. Okay.
I've never even talked about religion.
If you're trying to sell somebody a car at 18, and that's where the focal point is, 19, 20, 21, do you think that magically at 25, they're going to be like, oh, shit, I've had my eyes on the car the whole time, but like, man, I've got like a lot more fulfillment in my life now. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
dude.
gonna happen.
I used to want to fuck a million girls and I have a girlfriend. Like, yeah, of course. Your attitudes change as you get older. He's preaching traditional masculinity, which is attractive to a lot of men.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you evolve. It's about where you evolve from. If the root of where you evolved from is, I need this to feel like I'm doing well. I need her to feel like I'm, that shit, that king. If that's where you evolve from, then you're going to evolve more from that place. You're just going to get worse and worse in chasing and try and have things to validate you. So that's why where you start from is how you'll finish. So where you start from needs to be something about, no, I got to master self. That's where I got to start from. That's the foundation. I don't give a fuck what the world looks like or what my conditions look like. I am that king. I am power. How do I know? Because I'm mastering myself every day. I'm not playing. Excuse me, I'm not playing. I walk this. And when people see me and I meet people and build relationships, they'll see that. Right? And that should be where we start from.
Man, it's like the James Bond type of fantasy. It's like, yeah, good with girls, good at fighting, have a nice car. But yeah, you get to some point where you experience that and it gets old. And maybe you do settle down. Or maybe you don't.
But
what you're saying is not going to sound
seen
sexy
it personally.
to
There
anyone.
are so many people that fall down the consumerist hole I've seen it happen time and
yeah, that would be like my one criticism of Andrew Tate too.
Well, but that is like his major fucking selling point, and that's what Adam is defending. Yeah, it's like look at the cars, like the car's the prize, but eventually, you'll get the car as a result of all those
That's why I said that I'm not a car guy, so I can't be defending getting a car.
Yeah, because you're trying to put yourself on trial to defend his person, but I'm not attacking you.
But what I'm saying is, it's easy. This is what I was saying with the straw man. It's easy to take his message and be like, he's just all about materialism and Bugattis, when that's not the message. It's work harder, get better, and once you do all that and increase your status, then you can get the car. You're focusing on all he talks about is getting a car.
Have you ever watched like his full War Room streams?
War Room streams, no, but I've seen like some of his long form content.
But you've never watched like a full
War Room stream, no.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Bro, they're so adorable. Just ask questions. No point there. Just want to know.
So, yeah. So essentially, that is my take on this debate. I think that I understood definitely where Destiny was coming from, but I think it's I think to completely exclude the message or to completely put Andrew Tate's message in the box of like have this money. I don't think that necessarily falls on Andrew Tate. That falls on how his image and his brand was marketed by the consumer. People clip these things up and put him out there like that, right? And he went with that. But I have definitely heard him multiple times in his interviews speak more about the mindset that one has to have before achieving that. The value they already have that they need to see that they are before achieving those things. And I just think that it's because of how we clip things up and put things out. Essentially, we almost make brands of people. Like, yes, they have somebody that does that, but there's people who are fans, such as what I'm doing right now, who will clip it up and kind of put that message out. And the message that gets put out is the one that's been put out way before Andrew Tate. You have to have money in order to be somebody. You have to have these possessions, these material things. And it disconnects the person from truly building what they need to build within themselves. And it gets worse and worse as time goes on because we have so many people in the world to compare ourselves to, right? So that's my take. I do want to go through another one. I'm going to keep doing these, see how they work with y'all. If you like it, please comment, subscribe. Trying to get familiar with this, man. All right? I love you. I love your soul. I love your journey. Peace.